I want to talk about like quarantine though, because one of the things that you were involved with quarantine was the protests. And we talked about that. I was in Florida. I was protesting We didn't get the chance to do it together. But can you talk about why it was so important for you to protest this summer?
1,000%. I think it was important for me because, and it's silly that I even have to address this, that like people think that because my mom's white that I don't associate with being black. And my experience has been as a black man, like my skin's black. I don't wear a name tag or a resume carry around with me that my mom's white. Like I'm a black man. And so like, I thought that it was important to let people know that that's how I feel and that's how I represent myself. And I'm going to stand with my people with what they're going through. And it's important to me. And not only was it important to me, but it was important to my friends. And they wanted to support me with that because they grew up in and around black people. And this is their time to figure out how they can. Everyone's always asking, what can I do? Support, come march, like come see what it's about. And so Tyler came with me and a handful of my other friends, and we went to a peaceful protest. And it was incredible for them to see that and hear people's stories, hear what people are upset about, hear people talk about things from an educated standpoint. And that's why we can speak on what happened yesterday at the Capitol. And we have that perspective of what it looks like to peacefully protest and what our experience has been like, opposed to seeing that happen yesterday and see that they were treated differently than people who were treated that were protesting peacefully with us in Florida and other cities across the country. So it was empowering, Rachel. And it's something that I'm able to tell my kids about and something that I feel comfortable speaking about now because it's a part of who I am and I was a part of that process.
I want to follow up to that question too, because obviously, like, it's no surprise. This is probably one of the most historic seasons that we've had on this show because you are indeed the first Black Bachelor. And, we saw you during the premiere and throughout, last night's episode as well, kind of talking about this responsibility of this role that you're taking on. So what does it mean to you truly being the first Black Bachelor? And has that changed since you said yes to taking on that role versus now when you're done filming?
Right. I think that it's two things for me. It's what it means to me is I can only speak on my experience and what I've been through. And I am Black, but I'm also mixed. You know what I mean? My mom's white and my dad's Black. So my experience isn't going to be everyone else's experience. And I speak to that because I know that when people watch me, regardless of if I want to admit it or not, like they're going to look at me as that is how, like, oh, that's how Black people act. Like, oh, that's what a Black relationship looks like. Or like, why did he do that? Do all Black people do that? And like, that was a big pressure that I put on myself when I first got there because I just felt this responsibility that I've got to make everybody proud. But at the end of the day, all I can do is represent how I was raised and who I am. And I think I did that. And that conversation comes up a handful of times throughout the season, as it should, because it's important. And regardless of what you look like, if you're Black, if you're Asian, if you're white, like my goal is to get married, and marriage comes kids, and our kids are going to have some sort of pigmentation. So it's something that we need to cover because our kids are going to go through what I've been through. And it's something that we need to address going into the relationship so that when we get to that point, it's not this like big conversation. It should be something that we've talked about throughout the course of our relationship. And yeah,